Welcome everyone to the next installment of this month in Microsoft Teams. My name is Tim Holman. I'm a project manager with Peters and Associates, and one of the areas I have been tasked with is to become the subject matter expert for Microsoft Teams. And that's a task that is a moving target because the Team app is updated so frequently. We created the This Month in Teams series to look at new functionality as it's added, and then I try to add in tips and tricks where I can. So let's get started with what's new in meetings. So we always get asked the question, why are you using the go-to platform to present Teams? And so when we started looking at a platform to do this, Teams didn't have a registration feature. And that was a big deciding point. So we're under contract with the go-to platform. We have everything in place, so we've kind of stuck with it. Secondly, it's really difficult to demo Teams from within Teams. Causes some issues. But Microsoft did just release the webinar feature for Teams. It's one of the things I'm going to be demoing today. And it remains to be seen if I can demo Teams using the webinar feature, because I tried while I was practicing for this presentation, and I joined two Teams meetings, two separate meetings, and then when I quit one, it quit both. So it may not be an option for these going forward, but we'll see. So agenda for today, just a high-level overview of Teams. I'd like to just start my presentations with that to get everybody on the same page so we all kind of have a common basis. Today we're going to talk about what's new in meetings, and then I will demo some of the things that I can, and then save some time at the end for some Q&A. So here's my intro to Teams. It's just imagine, right, where you can have your meetings, your chat, your phone calls, sharing files. Not a replacement for email, but if you use it right, it's going to greatly reduce your email. Built-in apps like the To-Do app and dashboards, right? All in one platform, one application, one place to go. So all these things in one app, automating routines, accessing third-party applications. So it's just a great one-stop application to take care of most of what you do. Another way of looking at that same information, right? Email and scheduling. Like I said, not replacing email, reducing, but your calendar. Teams shares your calendar with Outlook, so it's the same calendar. Because Teams is built on top of the Office 365 platform, content sharing and creation is really one of its strong suits. It's built on top of things like SharePoint. It uses all the Office Online applications. Meetings, which we're talking about today, kind of what are some of the new features. It can be your phone as well, so you only have to open one app to take care of everything. Chat, it's the most basic feature, but it's more than texting, because you can have security around it. You can track messages. It's persistent, so your chat stays there forever. It helps you connect across your organization. This is our implementation wheel that we came up with on how to help organizations roll out Teams. So these workshops are really envisioning, kind of talking about features and functionality. So we would start here, work through governance. I saw a report the other day that 75% of the organizations that are using Teams think they have their data secure, but they don't, because they didn't really do a good job with governance before they started rolling it out. So after governance comes adoption and planning, and then finally implementation. So, we offer a full suite of implementation, and we can walk you through the whole process to get you set up a team. And if you've already started and you need help with any one of these areas, we can jump in and help you there. So statistics, right? Everybody loves statistics. So Teams was launched in 2017. Really, during the last year, during the pandemic, the usage has skyrocketed, right? So 32 million in March, and now 145. This is 145 million daily active users. I think the biggest probably competitor is Zoom, and they report their metric in a different way. They report daily meetings. So if you had 3 meetings a day, you would be counted once for Microsoft, and you'd be counted 3 times for Zoom. So it's apples and oranges, but I think they report 300 million a day. Organizations using Teams has increased from 50,000 to 500,000, and then 91 of the Fortune 100 companies use Microsoft Teams. I just updated this slide. This is new features, and I think this bubble here probably is going to shift because they expect to release features at a certain time, and oftentimes they get pushed out. So we're still looking at almost 300 new features in the first half of this year. And it just shows how much development is going on in Teams. I was working with a customer the other day that wanted to do breakout rooms, but they wanted the people to be able to pick their own breakout room. And it's not currently a feature in Team, but it is in their user voice. And so it's something like that I would expect to be showing up in one of these future releases. So today's topic is Teams meetings. We've covered it before, but specifically it's what's new in Teams meetings. Again, I like just to throw this in there. Today is not intended to be training. It's really a high-level overview of, features and functionality, but it's something we do offer. So if you have a need in your organization, you want help with a specific aspect of Teams, just getting started, contact us and we can certainly help you with that. So here are the things I'm going to cover today. Dynamic view. The share tray has moved. There are some new presenting options. PowerPoint Live, great way if you're presenting using PowerPoint to really help you in your role as a presenter. Something that's been added to the breakout rooms is a timer. I'll show you how to do that. And then we'll cover webinars. So excited about that one. So dynamic view. When Teams was launched, your view option was a 4 video grid, a 2x2, and that's all you had. You had no choices. They bumped that up to 7x7 to add more video on the screen. But with this dynamic view, what it's doing now is it's adjusting the view based on the number of participants. It's breaking out, audio calls from video calls, and you can do things yourself within that. So you could spotlight a user, which would make their video bigger. Like I said, the audio calls and the video are separate. Together mode is still there, and it's going to appear alongside content, so you get that neat view where everybody's kind of in the same room, but still have the content available. And then finally, you have the option now of docking the participant gallery to the top. And I'll kind of walk through each one of these and show you what they look like. And this is one thing I can't demo because I don't have that many people calling into my meetings. So here is the dynamic view where we have 4 larger video feeds, 3 smaller, and then these are audio calls off on the right. As more people join the meeting, the view changes, and now it's trying to provide as much video as it can, still keeping them as large as it can, and then just dynamically changing it. So, as you add more, you're reducing the size of the video. Audio callers are still on the side, and it used to be, it was commingled, so you'd have a video icon and an audio side by side, but they're really prioritizing the video. So here's what it would look like with content on the screen. Again, you have video up at the top and then audio down below, so less priority to that. And then here's the option where you can move the participant gallery to the top. And the intent here is most people have their camera at the top of the screen, and so it makes it look like you're participating more with the other viewers. I have multiple monitors in my setup, and I often will look off to the side to see content on another monitor. And I feel it's very unnerving when you see someone doing that because they're not making eye contact with you. So trying to make meetings more interactive, more personal. So I think it's a good option. It's something you can select when you're in a meeting. You can just pick the drop down and say gallery at the top. So here's the new share tray. It's moved up to the top, kind of where all the other controls are. It used to be down in the middle of the screen. You'd have to move your mouse to get it to pop up. So easier to access. So you have options like including computer sound. If you are presenting and you want to show a video, you have to turn this on so that the video from your computer will be included in the presentation. Here is the new presenter mode. Right now, these are the only two I have. It's the standard view and then standout. And I'll show you what that looks like. There's a couple more options coming that just haven't rolled out yet. Still options to share a screen or share a specific application. I always share my screen because oftentimes I end up switching between applications. And if you forget, like you only share a specific application and then you switch to something else. So if I was sharing a PowerPoint application, then I switch to a browser, people don't see what's going on because you're not sharing that. Whiteboard is still here. And then lastly is the PowerPoint Live application. So I kind of laid things out in this order here so I could kind of walk through each one of these to show you what they look like. So presenter mode, there's going to be three options, reporter, standout, and side-by-side. And I have a little clip here that kind of walks through each. So this is standout, that's reporter, this one's side-by-side. They roll by quick, so my timing's got to be good. So standout, reporter, and side-by-side. And you'll be able to pick those when you present. Again, it makes it a more interactive presentation. You don't have to look somewhere else for the video. It's kind of all incorporated. And it's more engaging, I think, for participants. PowerPoint Live, it's upping PowerPoint in your ability to present. So what this does is it uploads your presentation into the cloud, and it's consumed from Office 365, not from the presenter's machine. So if my internet was acting up today and I was like I am presenting and I had a lot of dynamic content, you'd be relying on my internet for your consumption. And with PowerPoint Live, you actually upload the presentation into the cloud and you consume it right from there. So it skips one step, but it gives you the ability to see your notes. And this is really good if you only have one screen. Because I have multiple screens, I'll always have presenter view open on another screen, and that's why I'm always looking off to the side, looking for my notes. But you can see your notes, you can see chat, and you can see your audience all in one screen. So it just makes presenting a lot easier for the presenter. Additionally, if you have multiple presenters, they can switch. You can let them take over the presentation and advance slides. It's difficult, right? If you're the one with the deck and you're clicking next and they have to stop, okay, next slide. It just isn't as professional, I think. And then finally, there's an option within this to let people navigate through the deck at their own pace. So, you're going quickly through the presentation, but they wanted to skip back a couple slides because they missed something there. They have the ability to go back and do that, or you can turn that option off. So this is what it looks like. Typically, when you're the presenter in Teams, you have a red box around, for me, it would be my entire screen. And that's what guests are viewing. Here you see the box is just around, right, the slide deck that's being presented. And what I see is my notes. I see what's coming up. I could click up here on view participants. I could click on chat, and it would let me add that to the screen. So I have everything all at once. And here's the option to prevent the guest in your meeting from advancing on their own. So you may not want them to skip ahead and back. 3 slides, not a big deal. But if it was more, you don't want them back 3 slides when you're talking about something, so you can turn that option off. Next is the breakout rooms timers. So you have the ability now to create breakout rooms and then set a time limit. You have actually 60 minutes and then another option for hours. You can go up to 23 hours. So actually you could do 24 hours. You could pick 60 minutes and 23 hours and have a breakout room go for a day. Hopefully no one's in a meeting that long. As the meeting's winding down at 30 seconds, your participants in the breakout rooms will get a notification that the breakout room is going to close. And finally, what we've all been waiting for, it's webinars. So now you have 3 options when you go to set up a new meeting: the traditional Teams meeting, the live event, those 2 have always been there, but webinars, that's the new option. So webinars gives you the ability to present up to 1,000 attendees. If you go over 1,000, it switches. So webinars are still interactive. You can let people come off of mute and ask questions, those kinds of things. If you go over 1,000, then it's a one-to-many, more like a live meeting option. There's a great registration option, so you can customize the page, upload a picture, add required fields. I'll demo that. All the host controls, so mute everyone and don't let them come off mute, just like we're doing in our go-to meeting. So this is what the registration page looks like. I just threw one together real quick as a demo. And you can add all kinds of custom information over here to collect information. So, right, again, all built into Teams. You don't have to pay anything extra. At any point, you can download. This is probably a comma delimited with all that information in it. So you can use it for email, for follow-up, all kinds of things. So let me jump out and demo some of this. So dynamic view can't demo because I don't have that many people participating, but I will do a quick meeting. So I'm going to do a meet now. And I'm going to mute myself to prevent feedback. And then I'll show you what the new share tray looks like. All right. So here's the share tray up here in the upper right-hand corner. And here's where you have all those options. So if I wanted to include my computer sound because I was going to show a video, microphone is different than computer audio, right? Because if I was playing a video, that'd be playing out of my computer, not out of my microphone. So that's kind of the difference there. Here are the presenter mode options. So content only, or this is called standout. You will eventually see reporter and side by side. They'll pop up there. These are just my screen options. Here, applications are here, whiteboard, and then PowerPoint Live. So if we do PowerPoint Live, let's do presenter mode. So I'll turn on, hopefully this works, a second camera. All right, so here's my second camera, and now I'm going to present. I'm just going to pick my screen. And what's neat is it shows you a preview of what it's going to look like. Maybe. So worked when I demoed it. What typically happens is it pops up a little screen showing you what it looks like. Maybe I need to add someone to the meeting. Let's try that. So I'm going to show participants. I will add Grady because I got him logged in right here. All right, well, we'll try it again and see. I don't know. It may not work because I'm presenting with a go-to platform and it may just, so pick standout. Oh, there it is. All right, maybe I didn't click the right button. So here's what it looks like. This is the standout view. I think it's just more engaging. So I could point to things, kind of. It's just a more engaging, it's a neat way to add video to your presentation. Um, and right, people can focus more on the content. They don't have to be looking around at the little video icon in the corner. So there it is, standout. So reporter view will be an option where your picture will be in the corner, content will be in a box, and then side by side, we're just kind of split the screen 2/3 to 1/3. So cool, that worked. I'm going to stop sharing, turn off my video, and now I'm going to do a PowerPoint live and show you what that looks like. So we'll pick this. So this is going to upload the PowerPoint into the cloud and then present it back. I'm going to turn off participants. So now here's where I can switch gallery. So right now it's on the right. I can move the gallery to the top. If I had video on, the video would show up here. But put it back over where it was. And so no notes on the first slide, but if I switch to the second slide, now here are my notes, and I can show you what participant sees, right? So the slide's being built out, and they're seeing it on their screen. And because I have the option enabled, they could take control or move back. So now, right, my participant has moved back to the first slide, but I don't want them to do that. So I'm going to turn that option off. And now we're all back on the same page. Share disabled private viewing. So let's stop presenting that. Stop presenting. Next, I'm going to jump out of that and do a breakout room. So this is the icon for breakout rooms. So the first thing you have to do is create some breakout rooms. So I'll create 2. I'll manually put people in the rooms. I'm not actually going to put anybody in a room. I just want to get to the settings. So once you have your breakout rooms created, I guess I could add him to, I'll add him to room 1. But now I have settings here, and if I go to room settings, I have the option to set a time limit. So I could do a minutes. So I could do a quick 5-minute breakout or 10-minute breakout. And now it's applying the setting. And so, yeah, I don't know as a participant what I actually would see, but I have been moved to a breakout room. If there were other people in here, then we could share content amongst ourselves. And then I'll get a notice at 30 seconds left in the meeting that the meeting's going to end. So I'm going to end this meeting. Let's leave. And then the last thing I'm going to show is webinars. So now if I do a new meeting, I have the webinar option. So I'm going to do a meeting called Teams Webinar Demo. I'm going to require Grady. So one nice option here is when you're creating the meeting, this is what's going to go on your calendar. You have the ability to have a different time allocated. So let's say the meeting's going to be at 1 o'clock, but I want our team to get on a half an hour early. So I'm going to set the meeting to start at 12:30. The meeting is going to go from 1 to 2. And so this is just going to be a demo meeting. So right here is the registration form. So this lets you build the form that your participants are going to see. So I want to upload an image right here. It's pretty particular about what that image looks like. You have some ability to adjust. So if you picked something, you can make it fill that space. But it's a very, right, 918 by 120. So that's kind of the parameters you have to work with. So there's my image. We're going to call this the Teams webinar demo. But here, I'm going to pick from 1 to 2. So the first time I did this, I didn't realize PM was selected by default. I scheduled the meeting for 11 at night instead of 11 in the morning. But I was able to go back in and edit the this registration page, and it sent an update out to all the participants. So it's kind of a nice feature. I could put a description in here. Oops. I'm going to add a speaker, so it'll be me, and I am the Teams subject matter expert. These are required fields, but I want to add one. I want to know your organization. So you have these by default, or you could create a custom, and you can determine whether or not they're required. And so that's what I want it to look like. I could view this in a browser. Everything's slower when you demo. Oh, I have to save it first. And now if I view it in the browser, it'll actually look like what I created. So a Teams webinar registration page where people can fill out their information, and it builds a database in the background. You can export it at any time. It's a comma separated file. You can open up Excel. You can interact with it. You can email the people off of it. So next step would be to close that. So do I get it from here? What I wanted to grab was that link, the registration link. So copy registration link. So I would copy this, and then I would use whatever I use to contact people. I could do it in Outlook. I could use a third-party application, but that would be the link I would send out to people to register. And then by sending this, this will put it on my calendar and on Grady's calendar, and it's going to be on our calendar for an extra hour, half hour. And then you run the meeting just like you would any other meeting. It looks just like a Teams meeting from the presenter standpoint. So let's see, that was it. That's all I had. Did it right in a half hour, and we had scheduled more time, but I think these meetings will be shorter as we start focusing on just what's new, not on big feature options. So questions if you have any. I just want to throw out next week we have this month in cybersecurity, so that's June 29th. Make sure you sign up for that. Lots of great information there. If there were any questions, I would take them. It's not so much of a question and answer kind of content. It's really just showing what's new out there, but happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Hey, Tim, it looks like there's one question. It says, this person is asking, is there a limit to the number of webinar participants?
So a webinar can host up to 1,000 in the interactive mode. If you go over 1,000, it switches to a one-to-many, more like a live meeting. So you don't have the option then to unmute people. That's the difference. So 1,000.
Awesome. And it doesn't look like there's any questions at this time. So I guess we can give everybody some time back in their day. So thank you, Tim, for that great presentation. And thank you, everybody, for joining today.
One more slide. Thank you. We'll see you next month.